Ujjayi is victorious breath, victorious breathing. And I'll try to speak a little bit louder today for those of you that say they can't hear me. But it's not about really, of course it is. It's always about hearing me. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can. If you can't, please. I'll just write it in there. At what point you can't hear me or what point you can would be awesome. But let's go ahead and get started with Ujjayi, which is it's making your breath vocal. So if you can't hear me, and I'm gonna try to make sure you can hear my voice, but victorious breath or Ujjayi is about connecting to your energy, your breath, your inhale, your exhale, the quality, and most importantly, the quality of your inhale and the quality of your exhale. Okay, your nervous system is attached to your breath. Your nervous system is attached to your breath. Your autonomic nervous system is attached to your breath. On the inhale, again, you're bringing in intention, right? You're inhaling, you're expanding, you're absorbing in intention. You have two nervous systems. You have a sympathetic and a parasympathetic. Parasympathetic is rest and digest, and you're going to experience that a lot on the exhale, where you're letting go and you're relaxing. You're feeling that subtle kind of release in your body. And then you have an inhale, which stimulates and energizes it. So connect to your breath. Okay, that's just your breath, but connect to your breath and you'll have victory over the mind. The mind is the source of creation, and this is where we're creating life and expression. And you're creating your reality and affecting your reality based upon your energy and your breath. So let's focus our mind and have victory over the mind today in this video, okay? So Ujjayi, or victory over the mind, or ocean's breath. And it's called ocean's breath because it sounds like the ocean. So listen to your breath, get in tune with your breath. I will try to be as loud as possible as I can with the breath, and get as close maybe to this as so you can hear me, but you're feeling a constriction of the throat. We've talked about this before, but I just wanted to go deeper into it, and we'll go into the different hemispheres again as a practice as well. But constriction of the throat, so feel, now there's different parts of your throat, and if you look at the anatomy of the human body, you have the sinuses, right? And the sinuses are very close to your pituitary and pineal gland. Your pineal gland is down here, pituitary gland down here, and pineal gland up here. So it affects mainly those kind of areas and opening up. So when you use the breath, you're getting in tune with it. So listen to your breath, listen to the strength of your inhale, listen to the strength of your breath, and then feel where it is in your throat, feel where it is in your sinuses, feel it on the right side, feel it on the left side. And we want to expand the health of our sinuses, the health of our nose, the health of our breath, the health of our brain, the health of our glands, the health of our parathyroid, thyroid, the health of the esophagus. So be in tune with that, with your breath, and strengthen your immune system, strengthen your confidence. So there's a lot going on here. So let's get started. There's a couple different breathwork practices. One is doing Nadi Shodhana, both on the left and right side, and then going into just Ujjayi. But we're just going to do Ujjayi. So what is Ujjayi? I've said this before. If you've watched the videos before, or maybe you're new to this channel, subscribe with us down below. And hit the notification bell too, because we're working out every day. And so Ujjayi, always trying to find new topics. So I just wanted to expand on Ujjayi because there's a lot there with the subtleties of the breath, and energy. So you have your energetic body and your breath body. It's the same thing. Your breath body and your energetic body, well, it's not the same thing, but they directly affect each other, right? You have your physical body, you have your breath body, you have your energetic body or emotional body, energy and motion. You have your mental body, you have your sleep body or spiritual body, astral body. I think we have 5 bodies. Anyway, I'll come back to you on that. So it's like fogging up a breath, up the mirror. So right there already, that is healing for the heart. The ha sound, H-A-A-A, is the healing sound for the heart. So exhale with a ha sound, and then close your mouth and continue that. Let's just do a couple exhales first, and really powerfully exhale, expressing from the heart, expressing from the throat, expressing from the back of the head. Really feel it from up here, and I see it from like the ears, but it's like inside, right? So feel it up here in your eyes, in your sinuses, in your nasal passages, in your throat back here, and then feel it in your throat, in your parathyroid and thyroid, and then just feel that. So you can feel how you can kind of like constrict certain areas, and it kind of like muffles it, or it expands it. So subtle practice. Just continue for another 10. So you can constrict higher. It's kind of like a, it's kind of almost like the vibration, the solfege that we do, in the solfege. And I didn't mention this in the solfege practice that we were talking about, but there's like different chambers. If you notice for yourself, or I notice in singing that I have this lower tone voice, and then I have this like weird high you can do, but you can still hit those higher notes. So you have this ability to get higher in this kind of spectrum of what I'm thinking is these lower 7 chakras, and you have your lower 7 tones, your solfege, your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and it restarts the notes again. But then you also have this do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and I can hit this high note, and it affects my brain. It affects this vibration, and then through the breath as well, affecting the passages of the nasal passages of the brain. So it's kind of like, constricting the top of that kind of pituitary gland up there, the hypothalamus pituitary. And just exhaling right now. But then as we inhale too, we're intaking and try to expand those same passages. So now go ahead and bring your inhale into it, and let's take 10 breaths in meditation, just focusing on your breath and hear your own breath, not mine, but hear your own breath constricting work into those passages. So inhale with Ujjayi. Inhaling, expanding, and working with the belly, working with the chest, working with the throat, working with the sinuses at the top. So with the Ujjayi, trying to expand that even though it's really up here, when I'm able to open, and then there's certain parts, and even when I got into like 6th and 7th breath, there was this opening of the left sinuses that I felt of the throat, and I feel like there's a lot of space here, but this is starting to open, and which makes sense because this whole left sinus has been kind of clogged, right? And it's closing off the eye, and it's closing off kind of, I can feel it affecting this side of my brain, and you don't notice this stuff, but imagine a whole half of your body is not getting oxygen like the other half, for a majority of your life, right? And it can have an effect. Whatever that effect is depends on you and your anatomy and genetics and epigenetics, but things to be aware of. That's good for this morning's practice. You can continue working with Ujjayi, and we'll be back tomorrow morning for Ujjayi 2. And we'll continue to work in. I'm gonna continue to work into the left side of my my nasal. If you have any, please comment below. If you watch this, you like this, and you're like, hey, this is cool. Maybe your experience, your maybe left and right side. I think my mom, Amna, I think we're talking about the left side needing, excuse me, hold on, the left nasal passage, which is the right hemisphere, feminine brain, creative brain. Anyway, it's, I can't be too sure, and you never really can be, but this is a practice, whether it's my left side or my right side, but you can definitely feel it. So as I'm breathing and working into these nasal passages, just be mindful. Some days I wake up, like actually after our last practice when we were doing that stuff all on the left side, I remember waking up the next day and my whole left side was open and my right side was clogged. And I was like, oh, interesting, because I kind of shifted all my attention over to this side opened up and this side kind of closed, and then I balanced back, and I've kind of been here, and then it's interesting, you kind of float between sinuses. But yeah, use Ujjayi because that constriction is back here, and it's victory over the mind. It brings you into your mind, it brings you into your breath and your energetic body. So, Ujjayi, victory over the mind. And that's my 2 cents on it. Much respect, guys. I'll see you guys later today. 1 for MMA 2, and we'll continue working on transitioning martial arts, one from one to another. And until then, or till tomorrow, we'll continue off of this, going on to part 2. See you guys.